Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live, presented by the Cochran Firm, streaming live on YouTube and Facebook. I am your host, Will Skywalker Steele. Boom! What's up with y'all, man? What's up with y'all? Coming up today, it is Tape Tuesday, so we're going to jump into the lab. I got it all set up, so we're good to go. Got to make sure we're right and righteous. We're going to talk about that run game. Some good things I like in that run game. There's some concepts I like, and I think we should build on it. So we're going to dive into the film room for that. In the roundup, there's more Dak Prescott updates, right? There's more Dalton Schultz updates, but there's also a concerning trend that I don't like, that I think we need to talk about, man. And then another stat that was really weird. I talked about it yesterday, and I went back and looked and researched. It ain't pretty, it ain't pretty, but it is what it is. We'll see if we can figure this out on the offensive side of the ball. And really, a little bit more as a team stat, but we'll talk about it anyway, man. Look, hit the phone lines up if you want to be a part of the show, 351-999-3787. You can also find the phone line scrolling down here somewhere in the DFW turf ticker, the number one artificial turf in the DFW area. What's good, y'all?
Bomb Squad!
Yeah, Nick, we won all those stats, but we didn't get the dub, right? We didn't get the dub, and we know why we didn't get the dub. And we're going to take a look at it in the film room. There was some, I feel like I come on here every week and I say, missed opportunity. But that's the life that you live with your current situation. Those things should change. But let me just say this. Just because you will be getting QB1 back doesn't mean that there aren't some things conceptually that I think Kellen has to improve upon, man. We got to build on, et cetera, et cetera. We have to. We absolutely have to. Man, we already got somebody on the line. Hold tight, brother. Hold tight. Oscar said, y'all tell me how good the young tight ends were in the run game. Second half, man, they were fantastic. I had in my notes on Twitter, if you guys follow me on Twitter, what I usually do, and shout out to my bro, Vach. He keeps telling me, get a Patreon. I should. What I usually do when I'm breaking down these games is I go through every single play multiple times. I clip them, and then we come on here and we talk about it. But as I'm doing that, I go on Twitter and I write some notes and stuff. And in my notes, I talked about how in that first half, that was a tough ask. That was a tough ask for these tight ends to block those defensive ends, particularly Reddick. But after that, man, I felt like they clicked, and I really do like these young bucks. I truly do like these young bucks, Cowboys Nation. But what's up, man? Let's go ahead and get into this roundup, because easy, straightforward show. Get into the roundup. We're going to hit Sky Optics, and then we're going to jump into the lab And I love Tuesdays because we get to do this together when we look into the film room. And it's something that we're going to keep going. All right? Let's do it.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time!
It's time.
It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
Hey, yo. Dak's back? We don't know just quite yet. He's going to play. Let's be real. McCarthy spoke yesterday, right? And he said that Dak Prescott would be medically cleared today, which was yesterday, or today, which is today. So he's good to go from a medical standpoint. But y'all know how Mike McCarthy is. He don't really like to give away everything. And he also said, well, wait, man, before we guarantee anything about him playing on Sunday, let's see how he looks in practice. Let's see how he looks with the game speed. They talk about that. They talk about, the reps and all that good. Come on. We know he's playing, Mike. But hey, the fact that he's medically clear, I think, is the most important thing here. There was this you saw some of the people that don't like the guy. Dak was scared to come back against the Eagles.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
What are you talking about? I want to be petty so bad with some of these dudes, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to keep it trucking and we're going to be professional. Man, I'm not going to do that. But y'all know who y'all are out there. You know who you are. You know who I'm talking about. You know who you was with. Stay over there. Calm back down because y'all got out of hand with that whole thing. But anyway, he's medically cleared. That's a good thing. I feel like we're going to see Dak Prescott this Sunday. Simi Fehoko, Dalton Schultz. We understand they got dinged up and they were missing on Sunday. Simi kind of came out of nowhere and he got put on IR. They asked Stephen, Jones, what happened? Like, why was Simi out? Why was Schultz out? Why is Simi on IR? And Stephen Jones said that in their Saturday ramp-up practice, which Dak also participated in, one tweaked or re-injured his shoulder. The other, Dalton Schultz, tweaked his knee. If he's tweaking his knee in a ramp-up practice, dude, I mean, just put him on IR at this point. I don't know how many times we've been saying this over the last 3 weeks. He could have been resting right now. He could have been getting him back in a week or two. Instead, they keep just dilly-dallying with him around. I don't get it. But I spoke with Doc yesterday, and we talked about this and maybe the differences between Ezekiel Elliott's injury and Dalton Schultz's injury. I'm going to drop that probably later today, so make sure y'all check that out. It is a really good interview that details the difference here. But Simi re-injured his shoulder, and what happened was, and he's put on IR, that means what? Jalen Tolbert gets a chance. So Jalen Tolbert got the call up, but he really didn't play much offensively. You're talking about 3 offensive snaps. From 26 or 23 in week 3 against the Giants, where Gallup wasn't back yet, to 3. And then he increases special team snaps to 10. So me and Jesse talk about that a lot. Like these rookie guys like Tolbert have to learn how to play special teams when you're wide receiver 4 or 5 or whatever. So he's learning. He was on kickoff and he was on punt coverage. A little birdie down there told me about Jalen Tolbert. Straight up talk to him. And we'll just say this. It's clear that he's still trying to learn the receiver position from a professional standpoint. Coach McCarthy came out and said it nicely that, hey, he's behind XYZ because of a groin. That was really weird to start the season. But I think what he was trying to do is save his young rookie wide receiver. He's just not ready. He's just not ready yet to be counted on. That's the important part, right? Like you could say, hey, Tolbert, go out there and run a 9 route. Go out there, catch a hook, right? But there's a lot that they ask of these wide receivers, hence all of that. And I'm hoping that they settle down with it when we get Dak back. But all those option routes, You got to understand coverage after the snap. Like, he's just not there yet to the point where they can count on Jalen Tolbert. Hence why you see him with 3 snaps. I'm right now, I just come to the understanding, all right, cool. This is going to be a learning year for Jalen Tolbert, and let's see where we're at next year. Because if we're not where he should be pushing a wide receiver to, not saying he has to be it, but he should be challenging, maybe you go out and you look for one. But we're a long way from there. At least he's getting on the field. At least he's learning. He's in the rooms. And he's playing on special teams where I think he needs to be at this point just to get his feet wet out there. And then finally, a couple, I don't know if you want to call the second one a trend, but just some stats here that kind of bugged me as I was doing more research. I love to research after the games and look around the league and see where we compare. And not just in the film room, but just around the league. Because I think a lot of the times we get so focused on our squad that we forget that you are in comparison to the rest of the league. So let me get to one of my tweets that I did put out there on the Twitter streets, Cowboys Nation. And it's the time of possession battle. That might sound like, whatever, Sky. You're losing the time of possession battle. So what? Nah, man. You can't continue to put your defense out there because at the end of the day, you get down to week 15, 16, and you're continually losing the time of possession battle. They're going to be tired. They're going to be worn out and worn down by the time you get into the playoffs. And the Cowboys have lost the time of possession battle in 5 of the 6 games so far. 5 of the 6 games. And on Sunday, it was their 3rd straight game that happened. I believe in totality, they're like 29th in time of possession. And I said here it's an underlying issue that stems from others already discussed, talking about the offense, right? And it's one that they have to get a handle on as the season progresses. And what I mean by that is, I don't think you can, I hope this trend doesn't continue, but let's just say we get to week 12 and it's like, hey, the Cowboys have lost the time of possession battle 10 out of the last 11 games. I don't know how that's a good thing. I just don't. Especially when you're getting into the later part of your schedule and you got to get into the playoffs and you're going to play better teams in the playoffs. You want your defense to not have to be out there so much. And that underlying issue stems from others. That's the 3rd down. That's sustaining drives. That's getting into the red zone. All of those things have not been good for the Cowboys over the all year. Let's just be real. All year. But I feel like they're finding themselves. Something that I said yesterday is that the beginning of the years, that's how I always say, give me 4 to 6 weeks to see what we are before I guarantee anything, right? I feel like the beginning of the year, you're trying to find out who you are, what you do well, what you don't do well, build on top of what you do well, and correct or counter what you don't. And unfortunately for Dallas, they kind of got to start that over a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit, getting back Dak Prescott. But you'll take that, right? Like you'll take getting better at one of the most important positions in sports at 4-2, by the way. So that is a trend that I hope flips upside down on its head, especially with the fact that, as we're going to talk about here in a second, this run game getting better. It's so weird. You have a pretty solid run game. You would think you would be winning these time of possession battles. It's just not the case, though. And it's not like, they're losing by 30 seconds. Nah, man, you're holding the ball for like 25, 26, 27 minutes. That's in NFL retrospect, that's not good. Like, that's just not good, man. And then the other stat that made me say, okay, this is weird. I asked this question yesterday as we were talking. I was thinking about it, and I said, has Dallas scored more than 2 touchdowns yet? Like, not just 2 offensive touchdowns. We know that hasn't happened. 2 touchdowns, period. Special teams combined with defense, combined with offense. As we were talking, I'm like, no, they haven't. So I said, that's 6 games in a row. When's the last time that has happened? Well, the last time that has happened with any team was 2014. Shout out to my guy, Professor O, for giving me that one. But I went and looked at some, and it was the Jaguars, I believe, in 2014. I went and looked back at the Cowboys. It's been since 1990. since the Cowboys have scored 2 or less total touchdowns and to open up their season, the first 6 games. Just one of those stats, another one of those stats that make you say, man, the Cowboys always come up with a weird statistic that makes you go, what the hell? But again, I don't think that trend can continue. If you want to get to where you want to get to, I think you're going to have to score a little bit, hence what we just saw on Sunday. Not every team is going to be a solid offensive team, although I personally think the defense wasn't as bad as it may have looked. But nonetheless, offense put you in bad spots. You needed to score at least 3 touchdowns, and we didn't get it done. But the Cowboys, again, if you missed it and you're just jumping in here, they have not scored more than 2 touchdowns in the first 6 games for the first time since 1990. That means it's happened in the Dave Campo era. If Dave Campo and them boys got something on you, you got a problem. You got a problem, man. All right, so this is what we're going to do. It is a freak stat, Stephen White. Really weird stat. We're going to hit these phones before we head into the Sky Optics and right into the film room, get into the lab. Let me get my guy B Bird on this. Oh, hold tight, B Bird. Before I get you on the horn, B Bird. Before I get you on the Pulse of the Nation hotline brought to you by the Cochran Firm. Since 2005, our guys Larry and Brian Pope. Brian Pope and Larry Taylor down at the Cochran Firm have been serving the DFW area, protecting the DFW area, and fighting for the DFW area. If you have any issues, whether it be fraud, truck, automobile accidents, which are prevalent and high in Dallas, hit up Larry or Brian at the Cochran Firm. Here's what they do. They fight all their civil cases on a contingent fee basis, meaning if there is no financial recovery, they charge no fee. If all of that is confusing, just hit them up then. Give them a call, 1-800-THE-FIRM, or schedule a free consultation today at CochranTexas.com. All right, now let's get my guy B Bird, the original OG, in the building. What's up, fam?
What's up, Scott? How you doing this morning, brother?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I did hear you yesterday on Bosh's show, and I agree with that. A lot of people was wondering why Dak wasn't playing. I 100% agree with him not playing. That's a game that Eagles are going to be a contender all year. You don't want him coming out with rust, not performing well. We don't know what that would do to the psyche of the team. Right now, we lost, but we understand that, hey, we didn't have QB1 there. QB2, we've been pretty much putting lipstick on a pig.
Right.
So now, we can come off of that loss and say, hey, we played hard, but, we had a little bit more on offense. We beat that team, and we go forward with that. So I didn't really like that loss the other day. Yeah, we lost to them, whatever. But you got the first lady there. You got Meek Mills. You got they did that thing like it was.
They had a whole concert. Crazy, yeah, Meek Mill coming out there all masked up. I'm like, week 6. Hey, but it's Philly, man. Philly Cowboys. It's good talk.
But one thing too, so I definitely agree with your take. I thought about that before you even had that take yesterday, and I said I 100%. It's a little gamesmanship to me, to be honest with you. I like it. Don't play him. We're going to play you with.
The reason why I said that, B Bird, was because he wasn't medically cleared. So it really was out of the coach's hands. The doctor said, no, he's not. He's not. We haven't given him the green light. So when somebody was like, oh, he's scared to play, or Dak was holding himself out, I'm like, dude, Dak would have played if they would have allowed him to play. And if he would have practiced, first of all, you don't go into a game with no practice and you just play like that, and not playing all year really since week 1. So it was always a silly thing to say. But those type of people that don't like him, they're going to make up those type of narratives. But I digress.
I also think that this season is really setting up well for us. We're learning some things. The Tampa Bay game wasn't good, but I think what happened is we come in, we got the backup quarterback, and we have to take a different offensive approach. We have to run the ball, play solid defense, and just kind of do it that way, which I think is the formula that we should have been having anyway. Even with Dak play, I don't think if Dak gets hurt, we get that formula. I think we're throwing the ball 45 times a game. But I think right now, also Dak gets to see, wait a minute, I don't have to do everything. I can just go in and kind of manage a little bit and be better than Cooper Rush. And I think that's what his goal is going to be. I think we're going to do real well. And then even on the Cooper Rush handover to Dak, He had 102 yards a game before. Last game he had 3 interceptions. So now we get to go back to Dak real clean. No QB controversy. Nobody's talking about Rush or anything like that. Rush did his job.
Sure.
Won 4 games for us. Only lost 1. So everything is clean. Now we're ready to go forward. So I kind of like the way the year is kind of going, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
And so one of the things I like to say too, I've told you this before, that it's kind of coming around. Didn't think it would come around that fast. In the 90s, the thing that we kind of got was our division was so hard that when we got to the playoffs, man, we were battle ready. Washington was a team that had just won the Super Bowl in the 90s. New York Giants had won the Super Bowl recently. They still had Super Bowl rosters. We had to get through those guys to get to the playoffs. And when we did, man, we gave everybody else the blues because, hey, you came through the East, you came through something. I think this division is shaping up that way again, man, because Philadelphia is the best team in the league by record. New York Giants hadn't lost one game and got some impressive wins. We're gonna have to fight just to make the playoffs in this division, but that's okay because we'll be battle tested. And I think if you look at last year, we kind of skated through the East, got to San Francisco, who was battle tested, and got punched in the jaw, and we didn't know how to react. I don't think that's going to happen this year. I think that atmosphere of the day was good for Micah to see. It was good for everybody to see the intensity. We didn't have it in East last year. The intensity has raised a lot, man. So
Sure.
I kind of like the way this thing is going. If we get out of this, man, we're going to be ready to go, man. We're going to be in the front against the best, and we'll be able to go against the Green Bay or 49ers and go toe-to-toe with them.
Yeah, I don't have any worries about our players being ready. My questions once we get to the playoffs is going to be coaching. And unfortunately that's not really going to change until we get there. Because I felt like we got to some outer conference battles that we just didn't win, B-Bird. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't win. But I felt like we were a little bit battle tested last year, not in the division. The division sucked. But you had some of those statement games that we didn't come across and get the dubs. And honestly, your schedule, if I go look at it, it ain't. I mean, the East is about it if we're thinking about it. Like, I mean, again, every week you shouldn't take it for granted. This is the NFL. I don't mean to do that to any of these other teams. But it ain't like you got a whole bunch of
No.
it ain't even that many great teams this year. You don't have the Bills or you don't have the Chiefs on your schedule. So yeah, they're going to have some battles, but I think it's going to come down to coaching in the playoffs.
I was more just talking about division being tougher, and then when you play against, and those are division rivals, it's a different level of intensity in that. So that's what I was referring to. Yesterday you talked about the RPO and Parsons. I really, as a football fan, I like that play, those plays they ran to put him in that position. And I was going to tell you this: any answer that Parsons would have had would have been wrong. So they really put him in a real tough position that he had no right answer. I'm saying that because I admire that and hopefully our offense of coordinator can come up with some things like that just puts teams in a bind and whatever answer you got, we got to answer to whatever you do, Michael Parsons, or whatever you do defensive end. And I really like that, man. So, hopefully we could do some of that same thing. And I'll tell you, I'm going to say this one thing and then we can I can get off the phone. 5 wides with Zeke out wide, I've never understood that. You're not going to throw him the ball. You take away the threat of a run in the backfield. I just don't understand why we even use that play. He's not a wide receiver type guy. He goes 5 wides. I mean, if I was a defense coordinator, I would be shading away from him, to be totally honest with you. I don't know why we do those things on 2nd and 2s and things like that. Could you expound on that a little bit for me, man?
I can't.
Get off the line.
My man, B-Bird, appreciate you. I can't.
Right.
Anybody that's been watching this show for the last year, that is the one. Well, there's many things that get on my damn nerves, but that is one of the main things from a personnel standpoint, from a offensive play call standpoint, whatever you want to call it, man, that I just can't stand. You're putting Ezekiel Elliott out wide for what? Exactly what you said. You're not going to throw him the ball. They never do. Zeke doesn't even pretend. The snap, he takes one step and he turns around and he's just chilling. He don't block nobody. He don't go out for a route. It's a waste to me. And then what you do is you put your quarterback in a position where now you have no protection. When I say no protection, I mean no extra help. And that came back and got us last year in Minnesota. I remember it specifically. Zeke was out wide. Nobody was there to step up and block Dalvin Tomlinson. Mr. Hold ended up fighting him and holding him, and then we had to back up. Now, fortunately, it didn't kill the Cowboys, but yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And well, while I'm about to compliment offensively, I'm about to compliment the run game here. I'm going to say this, and I said it at the top of the show. Dak will be back, but I still think there are things you're going to have to improve upon, even with him here, from an offensive concept standpoint. Or it's still not going to be, which again, this is still not an explosive offense. This is still, you don't have a whole bunch of crazy skill guys. Michael Gallup is not back yet. They're not using the explosive players, a few that they have, in that manner. So it's going to have to be more methodical, more of an efficient offense, and that can get done. Like that's not what I'm getting at here. But in order to do that, I think you got to be a little bit more creative in a passing game standpoint than you've been. We'll talk about it here in a second. Let me get to one more caller. 302, what up?
Brother Sky, Brother
Yo.
Barnes, man. Second time caller. Love
Brother Lawrence?
Barnes.
Oh, okay. What's up, man?
Brother Sky, Detroit is they in trouble.
Mm.
And I say that to say this, man. Dak Gray played actually his first game this season. Let's just hypothetically say he don't get injured in the Tampa Bay game.
Yeah.
Or he gets injured in the Tampa Bay game and he comes back to play the Eagles and they lose. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the news surrounding that?
Sure, yeah.
So Brother Sky, now he ready to play Detroit, who has a good offense against our defense with QB1 back with that defense they got in Detroit.
Not a good defense.
First game.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that, man. We gonna be all right. Detroit in trouble.
Yeah,
Thanks, Brother Sky.
Appreciate the call, man. Appreciate the call. Yeah, we're gonna break down Detroit tomorrow, like we always do. Though we're gonna talk about their offense first. I might mix it up, but we'll talk about Detroit tomorrow. But just from a distance looking, their defense is literally the worst defense in the league. So yeah, I mean, you should have that advantage there. You just got to make sure you don't let their offense get rolling, because they too can run the ball, and they run it way differently than Philly does. They want to play smash mouth. Well, I kind of welcome it though, because now we ain't got to worry about too much of that misdirection. They do a lot of post action stuff, but I kind of welcome that style. Anyway, we'll break that down tomorrow. We'll break that down tomorrow. All right, let's jump into what I've seen in week 6 before we get into the film room, some of my Sky Optics. Some of the things that I noticed while watching that game that we'll discuss when we get into the lab, but let's talk about it a little bit. Week 6 offensive observations. First half, second half, the purpose different. What do you mean by the purpose different? Y'all know one of my sayings, dribble with the purpose. It didn't feel like the Cowboys were doing that in the first half. Now to be fair to Kellen, Cooper Rush ain't give him much of a damn chance at certain points, but still, the first 15 wasn't great. That's something we've been trying to get Kellen to get better at, was to be better coming out with your first 15. He's been hit or miss this year. But I just didn't think like anything connected. When you go and watch Philly, even though they didn't do anything in the first possession or anything like that, you could see that their plan was connected. They wanted to play off of what they did on first, second down, or what they did from a series drive. That wasn't the case to me from Kellen Moore. But again, I have to be fair here. How much of it was just Rush not giving them a chance, right? But that's the feeling I came away with. You didn't really run a lot of play action to open up that game in the first half much at all, really. And in a few times you did, It was only a few times. One of them was a horribly called hawk formation that Philly just was like, okay, you want to run hawk right here? Cool. I don't care if you get 4 yards. I'm not going to bite like that. And you got an interception. So we'll get to that when we get to the lab. But yeah, it just didn't feel like there was a rhyme or reason to what they were doing until the second half. That's when it felt like there was a clear plan on how to attack and how to, run via the attack and then play off of it. We talked about, I wanted to see Kellen Moore get in this creative run game back. He did. Waited a little bit, but he did. And I hope that's something that the Cowboys can build off of. I would rather see them do that to start and add on top of that. Mirror it to your passing game. But the run game creativity did improve to me. Some of those things we saw in the Philly game, we saw from last year, we saw come back. Some of the things we saw early against Cincinnati, we saw come back. We didn't see a lot of the New York Giants game, but that's okay. I thought there was some creative things going on here, and you're starting to see a league-wide trend in how you get some of that jet sweep stuff going with some zone behind it, misdirection. Finally, the Cowboys are adapting to that, and I think it works, man. You got, I think, 3 really damn good offensive linemen up front that can athletically get to those spots at the second level. We're talking about Terrence Steele, Tyler Smith, Zach Martin. Utilize that. And then the guys that aren't as good as those dudes, talking about McGovern and talking about Biadasz, what they can do well enough is combo block. They can move guys when McGovern and Terrence are helping, or McGovern and Biadasz are helping each other. Allow them to do that in the run game. So I did see some creativity in the run game. But something I was getting at a couple minutes ago, there just seems to be a lack of short and intermediate route concepts that work, right? What I mean by, it feels like they don't even give a damn about that. Everything seems to be not necessarily deep, but deeper than intermediate, if that makes sense. Like, we're not seeing any mesh concepts. We're not seeing any rub routes, the picks, right? There's absolutely zero effort to use Tony Pollard as a receiving back, which, again, something that concerns me even when you get Dak back is you failed to involve Tony Pollard in the passing game with your backup. I'm supposed to believe you're going to do it with Dak. I have a hard time, man. And I think that using Tony Pollard in the passing game would have opened up some things. And because as you're going to see here once we hit the lab, like, linebackers have to respect it. They got to respect when Tony Pollard goes out there. They got to respect when Zeke goes out there, because they can be a guy you dump the ball off to. But we just don't, for whatever reason, or at least Cooper Rush don't, look to do it. So I'm hoping we see a difference, man. Last year, we were screaming for Tony Pollard to get more passes or get more involved in the pass game. He had 15 receptions up to this point last year, week 6. 15. We're talking about, man, that's not enough. He got 8. He has 8 receptions. And over the last 3 or 4 weeks, what is it, like 3 of them? So, and that goes into the short and intermediate concepts lacking to me. Like, I feel like that needs to improve. We need to see them get better with some mesh techniques. You saw in this Eagles game, you saw Noah Brown and CeeDee Lamb doing some whip routes. That's cool from a short intermediate standpoint. But we're not seeing much creativity in the concepts. There is slight creativity down the field, and there is some creativity off the action, which is why I want to build off of that when it comes to this run game. Mirror what we're going to see here with the pass game, because it doesn't have to be mirrored. And what I mean, it doesn't have to be deep shots when you do that. It could be intermediate stuff. It could be short stuff. So when we hop into the lab, y'all see what I'm talking about. Here's what we're going to do, though. We're going to finish these calls off, and then we're going to jump into the lab. My Reading brother, how you feeling this morning, good
morning.
sir?
Good morning, and God bless you and the show and your family, like always.
Thank you, sir.
I just want to point out two things. Remember yesterday when I was telling you that Mike McCarthy let the game get away in the first half, that he had to calm down? There was commenting that a lot on Talking Cowboys. Like he seemed like he wasn't, like in control of the situation. But I like the point that you brought up about Tony Pollard. Why are we not using Tony Pollard against the linebackers? Run him in some couple slants. He's faster than the linebackers. That was one thing that he was good at Memphis. Remember when he would cut through the middle? Memphis used it in perfect. I think Kellen Moore and Mike McCarthy should look at some of the Memphis tapes and try to use Tony Pollard. He's very dangerous.
Brother, we in year 4. They don't even need to look at the Memphis tape no more. They you know what I'm saying? It's past the point of saying they need to look somewhere. They got the guy. He's been in there. They know what he can do. For whatever reason, they just being hard-headed, fam. And I don't know why.
I just think sometimes like we got too much talent and we don't know how to use it really. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for today. Like always, God bless you in this show and keep up the good work in the family, okay?
You as well, brother. Thank you, sir. Let's get 5.
Right.
Let's get 561 up in here. What's up, 561?
Yo, what's happening, Sky? Jake the Great, man. Long time no talk, bro.
Jake the Great, man. What up? Yeah, it's been a minute. How you doing?
Man, I'm all right. I don't really know what the topic is. I just tapped in after watching the game like 3 times, man, and I'm a little bit concerned. I don't know if you went over it. Something that concerns me is kind of the defense, and I'm gonna tell you why. And it might have to do with Cooper Rush 3 turnovers, but the linebackers need to go. After watching, not the 22, because I think it comes out today, but watching LVE and, like, pausing it, he sees the play. He reads it, he diagnoses it, but he has this subtle hesitation, and he's not physical at the point of impact. And it's standing out on tape. I was listening to the and Ambar Garcia out of all the people pointed it out. That, what do you think we're going to do with the linebackers? What are we going to do?
Nothing. Unfortunately, I mean, we've been. I know it's been a minute since you've been here, but what you just said, put it on a loop. I mean, we've been saying that all year. Been saying that for the last 3 years. It feels like with LVE, he's a hesitant player. He's not a super athletic guy in the sense. He's not a striker. He's not. It has to be clean. I mean, put it on a loop. That's who he is. But so I don't think they're going to do anything from a linebacker standpoint. But I'm pretty much done screaming from the mountaintops. I ain't gonna have a voice. I want to see Jabril Cox. I want to see Devin Harper, but yeah, it's not happening.
Anthony Barr is no good, and also Jay Lou has to come off the field. He's the one that cost that touchdown between that read option where what's his guy, number 11, snuck behind Michael Parsons. It was Jay Lou that got lost in the wash. It wasn't a wash. It was just a laziness. And my final point is, man, I know I'm not that impressed with the Eagles, but to be honest with you, that last drive was something serious. They got the ball with 14 minutes left in the first quarter, and they didn't give that shit back to, excuse my language, till like 7-minute mark. That was some I beat you up type football. So that's where I'm concerned. And last thing, Kellen Moore doesn't want to run the ball. He has the formula, and we can see it, but we can see he doesn't want to run the ball. He wants to throw it as much as he can, and that's going to cost us in the future. But that's all I got this morning.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Jake. Yeah, that play, I went back and looked at that, and I will do a little bit of defense tomorrow. I think Mike McCarthy had an issue with that play, which, again, if he ain't cheating, he ain't trying. And I ain't saying it's cheating, but man, it puts you in a tough position where they had a bunch formation and A.J. Brown is stacked behind everybody, and then he goes in motion. And if you take your eye off for 1 second, and that's what Jordan Lewis did, and he got late to get into that motion, and it was a at snap motion at that. So now he's sprinting across. So now J. Lou has to get through the traffic. That's hard. It happened on the first play of the first time as well with Trayvon Diggs. I don't know if anybody's coming for Trayvon Diggs. Not saying, I just think the reason why I laugh is because, man, Again, they had 155 passing yards. That plays hard, man. Like I know we don't want to give credit to the other team that much, but that was a freaking damn good play. And I'm all about, I want to see more Bland. Yeah, sure. But that's the play we're going to talk about. I mean, I feel like even if J. Lou does see it, they're still getting the first down there. Maybe they don't get a touchdown. I don't know. But Donovan Wilson's got a tackle. He didn't tackle. You know what I mean? But anyway, man, I just think that's a good play. Why not steal it? Make the referees call it. I don't know, man. I looked at this game, and I just feel like you really had, I know this is going to sound crazy, but you really played the best defensive game against these dudes. You held them to their lowest yards per play. You held them to their lowest total yards. You held them to their lowest passing yards. They didn't really run the ball extremely effective. The reason why they just kept running the ball was because your offense didn't put any pressure on them and get them out of it. They had, to me, 2 good drives. Running it back, I don't come away from this game concerned about the defense, because I'm not going to run into a team that does that type of RPO stuff again to, guess what? December against the Eagles again. And hopefully by that time, Dan Quinn has a better plan to attack that. But I don't know, man. Maybe it's arrogance. I'm not saying it's a perfect defense or anything like that. I just feel like you have to have almost a perfect scheme to beat this defense consistently. And I don't see a bunch of teams having that. So could be a little bit of arrogance on my part with this defense. But I saw somebody, in fans say, all this defense is overrated and all this and all that. Guys, I don't know how much more I can say this, but when you give the team 4 possessions inside the 40, I don't give a damn how good your defense is. Eventually, they're going to give up points. And they gave up 13 points on those 3 possessions. You lost by how much? 9. A touchdown and 2 field goals. Just saying, man. I'm just saying. No, brother. Fields is nothing. Have you watched the Bears offense? We'll get to it. We'll break down that next week. That Bears offense, I don't even want to call it a bootleg version of what you got going on over here in Philly. But that offense stinks. That offense is terrible. Justin Fields has terrible vision. He just runs around. I don't care. Remember I said, I don't care if Jalen runs around. I actually preferred him to. The problem was Jalen didn't have to throw the ball. And another thing, too, that Bears O-line, that's a whole different story, a whole different story. All right, bro, G, finish this off before we get to the lab, man.
Good morning, Sky. Good morning. I wanted to call in yesterday morning, man. I didn't get to really watch a little bit of it, but, man, you hit on some really good points, and I was, man, almost exactly what I was thinking, as you were saying. I think Cowboys, we actually had a good running game. I think we towed it for I think I heard your stat was 25 times. I'm correct, for over 100 yards we rushed.
Yeah, man. So 134 yards.
Yeah, we did pretty good in the run game. So I hear people complain about, we need to run the ball. I think we just got behind in the score, so we had to just throw a little bit more. We got a little bit out of our game plan. In the second half, man, we spotted them 20 points, man. Spotted them 20 points, and almost came back. It was just that one drive in the fourth quarter where Philly, they just ran it right down our throat. That's what broke the game open right there. If that we had them on the heels, that game was ours. If it wasn't for that one drive in the fourth quarter, and I think there was probably three crucial coaching discrepancies. I think 2 in the first half and one in the second half. And the first one was McCarthy didn't throw the flag. He didn't throw the red flag on that CD Lamb first down. That was a first down. And we rushed in the second, and then we rushed to go for it on fourth down. You should have. We didn't have to rush. We had time. Why did we have to do that? That was right there. We spotted them. But I don't know if they scored a touchdown on it or a field goal.
So we gave up some points, and yeah, man.
Quinn.
I think this game was a pretty good. Go ahead.
Yeah, Quinn talked about that possession being the one they're most pissed about. They're steaming from the top of their heads right now from that drive at the end of the game. And another reason why I don't know, man. Maybe it's the arrogance of Dan Quinn being so good. Maybe the defense is just so good. I just feel like they'll bounce back from getting out coached or out schemed in this game. And then on offense, I think that's the first like big time Mike McCarthy game management gaffe of the season.
Yeah, man. Usually in Washington and Green Bay, he was one of the top coaches when it came to throwing the red flag, because he did this a few times when we played against him, and when he was in Green Bay, where he threw that red flag and he got the call reversed. So that was I think that was a big moment there. What was else that you hit on, man? There was something else, man. I can't remember what it was. But Parsons, man, you could tell he's playing on a flat tire, man. I think we should sit him for these next 2 games, and then we got the bye week.
Stop. Now I'm putting you on the spot.
You can tell, man. You can do. If he gets hurt,
why is he on a flat tire? What is he on a flat tire? What is he?
Dude, you couldn't tell.
Be descriptive.
You couldn't tell he was on a flat tire.
Be descriptive.
Sky, please.
What makes you believe he was on a flat tire?
I know you saw it, that he was playing on a flat tire.
What does that mean? Tell me what that means.
What does that mean? That means he's playing with a pull growing, a muscle. Something's wrong. Something's wrong with his leg.
How you watch that game? I will pull up a play right this. Let me go find some plays. Yeah, because you're wrong.
Please, the two
Micah
plays
Parsons.
that when AJ Brown went out, they did that little trick play. The one play you say that we should steal, and I agree with you. We should steal that play. The 2 plays that
had nothing to do with this house, bro.
You could tell that he wasn't running full speed. He couldn't run full speed. You could tell he was.
Other
than that, he would have ran him down super fast.
It's called hesitation because of the play design, man. Like this is what.
You could
I don't mean jogging. All right, go ahead.
Come on, Sky.
I'm gonna let you finish. This is the problem with Cowboys Nation, man.
A flat tire.
He's not playing on a flat tire, fam.
He's playing on a flat tire, fam. Go back and watch the game.
You go back and watch the game. I watched it multiple times. We already talked about Micah Parsons in this game. It had nothing to do with his health.
So you want to get him hurt more?
Get him hurt more? Are you his groin? He's fine. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's playing with something. Micah Parsons.
He's not fine, man.
Micah Parsons' game had nothing to do with him being hurt yesterday. In fact, I'll give you a perfect play. There was a play that bounced outside. Watch Micah Parsons hawk Miles Sanders down and take him down in the backfield. Go watch that play. You tell me he's laboring. No, sir. It's called scheme. I don't understand why Cowboy fans see a player, look at a play and be like, oh, man, he's hurt or he sucks. How about that was just a good play call, man?
He sucks.
Not you. I'm talking about the other people.
His 80% physicality is better than most people's 100%. So I'm just saying, I don't want him to get hurt more. And we playing 2 teams that's really not that good. So we could afford to sit him. And then we got the bye week. They give him 3 whole weeks to get him to 100%. Because if this thing lingers on and we get to the postseason, man, I think we playing. Man, it's not.
You go ahead, keep talking. I'm about to find that play for you, so I can tell you that boy ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, everybody's dealing with something. This is the NFL. But if you watching that game and you coming away and saying he's playing on a flat tire and he's jogging, brother, who are you looking at? 21 and not 11? I don't know what to tell you.
He's either hurt or he wasn't hustling. And I think it wasn't not hustling. He's a hustler. So he was jogging after a play where I know he usually runs people down. But you could tell that he didn't want to go into second gear because he didn't want to hurt it more. You could tell that he's hurt, man. It's easy to see that, man, that he's hurt. What was another? Oh, that last interception that we threw in the fourth quarter when it was almost on the comeback. I really don't think that was Rush's fault. I think it was that was a stupid play call. It was first down. We didn't need to go for the gusto at that time in the game. We had momentum. We were moving down the field. I mean, it could have been a great call. I mean, you could tell that Tyler Smith kind of.
I was about to say it was
on his block there.
It was open.
Huh?
It wasn't a bad play call to me. It was there.
It was a good play call, but we didn't really need to call it at that moment. You know, we didn't need to really call it. I think we're down by 9. We still had a lot of time left. I think there was maybe 6, 7 minutes left.
It wasn't.
It was just
we
didn't have to go for the gusto at that time in the game.
You needed to get some points, and you needed to get some points fast because you weren't getting points fast, right? Like they'll let you methodically go down the field if that's what you want to do. You know, there was 5 minutes left in that game at that point. So you needed to try to score, you know, get a big play.
Yeah, it was just like it was like Brandon Graham got, you know, he's a beast, you know, give it to him. And especially I give respect to Philly fans because their team gave them the right to talk shit. They won it fair and square. I don't see nothing you know, it's kind of almost eerily feeling of the San Francisco playoff game where we kind of got punched in the mouth early in the game and then we came back and just didn't have enough time. But yeah,
I mean, your
I
offense.
Really don't think that last interception was. I don't think that last interception was Rush's fault. Okay. You know, I think it was we didn't have to go for the gusto. And there's one thing that you said I really agree. There's one thing that you said. You still there?
I'm still here. I'm waiting for you to land the plane, though.
The pass, like, if we're going to pass the ball, I think we should go more West Coast style. And I think I heard you say this earlier in this podcast. We need to throw to the backs, you know, or even to the receivers, little 2-3 yard passes, little like short. We don't have the short game. I think you said that. We're always trying to throw for a first down on first down. We don't need to do that. We throw a little 2-3 yard routes and get some rack and do the little West Coast thing. Yeah. I agree with you on that, and I kind of noticed that. I thought it was Dak that was doing that, but you can see that Cooper Rush is doing the same thing, so you could tell it's a scheme. So that's all I got, Sky, man.
Right,
appreciate you, love the show, man, and man, we all right. We in good shape, America's fans and America's team. We be in good shape, man. So that's all we got, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you, bro, G.
All right, late.
Yeah, we're going to take a look at that last play there. So y'all just hold tight. I disagree with that. 5 minutes left in the game. I feel like you do need to take a shot, and the shot was there, and it was a bit slow developing, and it doesn't help that your left tackle got beat, and your quarterback doesn't have strong enough arm to be able to flick it without putting everything into it. I don't think this was like the 49ers game, because the 49ers game, you didn't turn the ball over 2 times in the first quarter. You didn't give them the rock right there. The 49ers actually drove down 2 or 3 times without any pushback, meaning you didn't gift them 13 points. Where you could argue might have been like the 49ers game is similar schemes in the sense of post action and pre-snap stuff, but Micah Parsons is jogging and playing on a flat tire. I don't agree with that, man. Like, and why again? I say this again. Like, bro, Philly not bad. I hate to have to say this. The play you point out is the play they make the linebacker make a decision, or the defensive end make a decision. That's why he hesitates. Do I go? Do I drop? Do I get the running back? Do I get the quarterback? That's called hesitation. That's not called laboring. It's a split-second situation where he has to make a decision, unless he's premeditated going into that play that I'm just going after the quarterback no matter what. And the play that he did that with, if you go back to last year, the Saints, Taysom Hill. It came out of play action. He didn't care. He just went right at Taysom Hill. But I digress. All right. Let's take a quick break. Let's play some Bills, man. Oh, I'm supposed to switch this. Somebody got to get on me, man. I got to switch this. It's a fan focus segment brought to you by Boston Scientific, y'all. ED can affect your self-esteem and impact your most important relationships. Take a free online assessment that you can share with your doctor. Click the ad to learn. There is a permanent, satisfying solution to treat ED. Again, click the ad or visit edcure.org to get the facts and find a urologist who can offer treatment options that work when others do not. Again, that's edcure.org, sponsored by Boston Scientific.
You're listening to A to Z Sports.
Do it live!
At some point, hoping to broadcast
In front of the millions
of Cowboys fans to bring you the real. But for now, strap up and here's your host, Skywalker Steele.
I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. We'll do it live.
Will said I'm gonna need the Cochran number for some of these callers. No. Listen, let me just say this. Y'all know me. I'm gonna be passionate. That's my guy, Jake the Great. But if I hear something that I don't disagree with, Special K said that's what I was saying. Parsons should have just teed off on one of them. I don't care if you make the wrong decision, make somebody feel you. And I think that's why he was pissed off, man. There was something that Micah Parsons said coming into this year. Like, if you're going to make a mistake, make the mistake at 110%. And that's what this Philadelphia team wants you to do. They want you to make a mistake offensively, right? And then we want to make you make the wrong decision defensively. Well, damn it. I would have just kept hitting on it. You just kept hitting Jalen Hurts, hitting him. We talked about this. We were joking about it on Friday. If you're going to get a personal foul penalty, so be it. Hit his ass. I think it'll be a different story going back around, man. I do. I feel confident about that one. All right, now let's jump into this lab right quick. If it'll allow me to. Yep. Let's do it. We're going to take a look at the Cowboys offense. Some of these plays that I like. Some of the opportunities we might have missed. It happens. It is what it is. But let's start off with what I believe was the second or third play of the game. That's why I have here 3rd and 2. Read option is there. Bubble or QB run. Run this back with Dak Prescott. I feel like if Dak was here, he might have got like 20 yards or something on this play. You know, he ain't Lamar Jackson, but he would have labored his way down there. But when I say read option is there, bubble or QB or QB run, let's take a look at the bubble right quick. We didn't get this, by the way. We didn't get this 3rd and 2 situation here. But here's the bubble. I think this is something you can run back. I feel like this is a triple type of option. Either he hands it off, he can run it, or he can throw the bubble right here. It's there. Let's look at this moving forward. Now, once we see the other side, I mean, you can see it right there. I mean, you needed 2 yards. This is the difference in not having Dak and having Dak. Josh Sweat didn't give a damn about no goddamn run. But Cooper Rush could have pulled that and easily got 2 yards and slid, but that's not his game. Sweat knows that, and you didn't get the first down. But I'd run this back when we get Dak Prescott back. In fact, I'm going to go a step further, y'all. If Dak is going to get dinged up, if Dak is going to get hurt, just get back to Dak using his damn legs. I don't care anymore. Let him run. Like, taking that aspect away from his game to me is a flaw. Let Dak do some running, man. I'm over it. I'm over trying to put him in a bubble. Dagger wins. Just trust it. Great protection. I feel like I've been saying this for 3-4 weeks in a row. For those who don't know the dagger concept, you're just going to get a straight fly route, seam route here, right behind it. And then I believe he's actually going to, he is going to come out here right away. So this was actually deliberate, meaning usually you get a play action or something. But nah, Ezekiel Elliott comes out here. I just love this concept. I do. And if you can protect it, something will be there, whether it be this dig, whether it be this seam, whether it be this check down over here. But like we've been saying for weeks, man, and maybe it's the offense, maybe it's the cue, but being predetermined pre-snap, you miss these type of things. So let's go ahead and let the play run. You miss these type of things. And this is what I mean. All you got to do is look him off. Just look off this safety. I mean, he's about to throw it, but this is done. He's beat, or he's playing the zone, whatever you want to call it. This is here, and if you let it run just a little bit more, and you don't like that, I feel like this would be here if he drops back. But because we're predetermined where we want to go with the ball, you're not even looking on this side of the field. And I feel like once you see this linebacker come over in this kind of curl or this flat area here, you don't have the numbers anymore. And this is what I mean by the numbers. You got 1, 2 against 1, 2, 3. I'm coming back to the other side, especially if I'm looking him off and we got the dagger that work. And let's look at it from a protection standpoint. Well, Scott, did he have enough time? Hey, listen, man, that's what you can ask for. I'm not. Now he would eventually got there. McGovern is fighting his butt off, but that's all you can ask for here from a protection standpoint. I'm not asking him to have 7 seconds back there. That's a good pocket, man. Got to have these daggers. We only hit that dagger once. Can y'all tell what formation I hate? I don't know what formation I hate worse. The Hulk package outside of the red zone or Ezekiel Elliott out wide. But let's just go to this damn Hulk package, bro. Why are we running Hulk on first down on the 25-yard line? Don't get it, man. I don't get it. Then we're going to run a play action 2v7. Again, you cannot do that. We'll talk about the outside shoulder throw in a second. We're running Hulk, running play action. We only have 2 routes against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he's actually going to drop back and make it 7. But let's say, oh, well, Sky, that's not fair. You don't want to count the underneath guys. You should. Well, it's still 2 versus 4. And if we're going to run play action for 2 route concept, why not just send these mucks deep like we were doing? Instead, we run some in routes. What are we doing here? All right, cool. You want to run in routes. You can't throw this on the inside. You got to put this out here somewhere. Let Michael Gallup go get it. Didn't work. Tip, interception. I just don't like the Hulk package outside the red zone or goal line. Now, once we get to the red zone or goal line, you'll see why I like it. All right, 88 flat pulls the cornerback, 13 sideline strike. Again, this is more so if you got a quarterback with the confidence to make this throw and the arm to do it, let's take a look at it. But Cooper Rush don't want nothing to do with this. CeeDee Lamb's going to attack the flat. It's going to make this cornerback make a decision, and you're going to get the whole shot right here. Okay, cool. He's not going to take the shot. 87, Jason Ferguson is going to hit this hole, and he's going to be wide open. And we just didn't make it happen. But I'm more so looking at the possibilities downfield. But if you're not going to go there, then at least make the whole shot. Here we go. You know, it's there. It might be, he might get his head tore off, but you got to fire that thing right there. But cool, you don't got the confidence to do it. You don't want to do it. But this has to be made, right? Like, you got to make this throw here, and we didn't make the throw. Errant pass, and here we go. Let's get to the next play. Okay, this is the 4th down play. I have challenge or timeout. We've talked about this ad nauseum. I felt like we just needed to settle down right here. I didn't like Mike's explanation. The execution of this play sucked. I feel like we try to force some of this post-action stuff. It's not really us just yet. We're trying to figure that out. And that's when you see things get clumsy. Let's run it back. Watch. Is this Lamb? Yeah, CeeDee Lamb's going to run into Noah Brown. Noah usually does a great job blocking, but again, that's a tough ask right here. What Reddick is about to do is kind of what I wish we would have saw our defensive ends do on those A.J. Brown type plays. Blow their ass up in the backfield on your way to the quarterback. Just get in the way. You get in the way. They bust it up. Yeah, you could have had something here. This is a difficult throw. And it came out ugly, too, if you go look at the other sideline. But just not a good decision by Mike, in my opinion. Call time out there. Not good execution. I don't even think it's a good play call, to be completely honest with you. All right, now let's finally get to some run game stuff here. Just really good blocking all the way around. I think on this play, you're going to get a double down here. A double. Is this the one you get a double down here? Let's let this play run. Hold on. Let's let this play run right quick. Yeah. Yep. That's what you do. Woo, look what Zach does in 93. You're going to get a double here, and I think Zach's going to come off and get number 43 or 57. But just good blocking all around here, man. And a good read by Tony Pollard. And you got to give shout out to 85, Noah Brown. He's still a good run blocking wide receiver, and that's probably why you see him in there a lot during this stint with Michael Gallup back, because he can do this right here. Another third down, no middle of the field threat, poor decision, interception. For whatever reason, there's times throughout the games where we just won't attack this middle of the field at all. And the protection wasn't great, but it was enough to step up and either throw it away or just take the sack here. Taking the sack is much better than throwing this terrible pass for an interception. But I don't know what the explanation is here, man. Is this a choice route? But why are we CeeDee Lamb? Why, or who was that? CeeDee Lamb? Yeah, CeeDee Lamb. Why are we then going back out? I don't know. I don't know what the call is. I don't know what the adjustment there, but we step up and we get a poor thrown ball and we get an interception. Poor decision, poor throw. I don't like the concept. Attack the middle of the field, man. There should always be somebody, in my opinion, around there. Again, another third down. And the reason why is this a third down check? Because we get Cooper Rush coming to the line. Hey, kill, whatever it may be, into the route that he wants. And what you're going to get here is just mirrors. A whole bunch of mirrors. I think he's going to come right underneath. He's going to go back, and he's going to come right underneath. And there's going to be absolutely nothing in the middle of this field on third down in the red zone. This isn't his throw. Outside really isn't his throw. Honestly, there's really nothing there because what happens with mirror routes, you can't come back. So if you think, well, Sky could have came here. Yeah, you're not. You're not really coming back here because he's not a mobile guy. He's not going to move around. So this is the throw. And obviously just nothing there, man. Short field. The cornerback has an easier route to get back to the ball to make the breakup. So I don't like mirror routes in the red zone at all because you put nothing in the middle of the field. Mirror routes on the outside, I should say. Now we get to some good stuff offensively. This is where I felt like the purpose changed. We opened up and we start doing more deliberate play action and easy hits to your tight end, to Jake Ferguson. Go get me this first down, big fella. Thank you very much. And we start opening up here, right? We start running the ball a little bit more and we start putting a plan in motion. And that plan was to run and run play action off of it. What you didn't see was the first play of the second half was a run. Here we go. Plans in motion. Look how your boy Zach Martin just watch Zach Martin and Tyler Biadasz just move, my man. More so Zach Martin. Zach shivered him. Shivered him here. And then you look, Fletcher Cox fighting on Terrence Steele. I take this. I'll take this win right here. I'll take that win. And what do you do when that's working? You set up the play action. This was a beautiful play action design, man. I feel like you're going to put, I think it's this linebacker right here in a very stressful position. We talk about Dallas Goedert selling stuff. Well, I thought Jake Ferguson played this one well. And this play reminds me of a play that the Falcons ran on the Cowboys a couple years ago. And Hayden Hurst was wide open for a walk-in touchdown. Well, just let it run real quick and we're running back. This is the type of creativity I like out of play action. This is more of an intermediate situation. It did go deep per se, but there's a lot you can do off of this. You're going to stress this linebacker out because you're going to have my man Tony Pollard, I think this is TP or Zeke, whoever it is, flare out here after the play action. And once you get Jake Ferguson in his area, he realized, oh, snap. I got to make a decision. And it's too late. This is already wide open. A great sell here on CeeDee Lamb, getting this cornerback out of here. I should say sell, but great route. And you just get a wide open throw. I love this concept. There's a couple plays this year where Kellen Moore has dialed up some just perfect tight end plays to Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot. I would love to see us go back to. Another excellent design. You'll get pre-snap, jet motion, post-snap, split zone. I love pre-snap, post-snap action. I love it because you can build off of it. This is what I mean by dribbling with a purpose. How many times did we see post-snap action with Noah Brown coming down up to this point in the game? A few times. So what do? You get the pre-snap. You got him moving one way. Watch how fast 22 gets up out of here. He's out of there. He's clearing it for you. And because you got 85 Noah Brown coming down here Watch, I think it's this linebacker overcommit. It's this linebacker here. Overcommit or corner, whoever it is. And when he overcommits, Zeke sees that, and that's easy money. Now tackle me. I dare you. You don't want to. You don't want to. Just a beautiful design from that angle. Everything just worked out perfectly. And we're going to take a look at the blocking on this because boy. Watch Terrence Steele just literally send Fletcher Cox to the other side of the field. 48's going to get pushed into the blip. Is this Hendershot? Hendershot does enough here. I mean, this is just almost perfect blocking, fam. We're going to run it back a couple times. Oh, boy. Look at Terrence Steele. This is Fletcher Cox, y'all. Moving that man with ease. Let's take a look at my guy, Tyler Smith. Thanos, snap. Out the blip. He gone. Where he at? Just, man, perfect blocking, man. Perfect blocking. Let's take a look at Noah Brown one time and from this angle and Peyton Hendershot. You couldn't ask to draw that up any better right there. You couldn't. Shout out to Zach Martin on that play, too. What we got here? Check with me, play action. Oh, yeah, okay. So, man, this is the second or third week in a row. He did a check with me, and he got into the right thing. You got what you wanted, but you missed the guy. You got what you wanted right here, but you missed the guy. That's what you want. You could argue, well, Sky, he could throw it right. Yeah. Sure. But that's the guy you want right there is Michael Gallup on the way back here. Instead, we get an errant throw, incompletion. But I thought it was a good check with me. You just got to go to the guy that was open. 13 personnel, tight ends do a good job here. Get 70 in space, first down. Okay, so they went heavy on this, jumbo, whatever you want to call it. And I love seeing Zach Martin pulling. We showed some plays last year where Zach Martin was pulling against the Eagles. I like this play because you're going to get everybody kind of coming down from right here. And the tight ends do just good enough to get in the way. And now it's pretty much one-on-one with Zach Martin and whoever wants to get in his way here. 24, and you get a first down. Can we get more? Look how happy Zach is running out here. You know Zach he liked to pull. Zach ran a 4.4 on this play. Stop playing with Zach Martin like he can't do this more often. Get him out in space, man. Shotgun run, good execution, 78-73. Love to see it. I said this on Twitter. I love watching 78 and 73. Terrence Steele, Tyler Smith just run blocks. So let's just go ahead and watch him. Look how fast he gets up on. Hold on, man. We got to talk about Terrence Steele. One of the things I love about Terrence Steele is that he gets to his spot fast. Faster than anybody on the team. One of the things that I had to critique Terrence about getting to his spot is sometimes he would do it too fast and overcommit. Watch how fast he gets there and watch how he settles down and he's under control, puts hands on 57, and then puts him in the dirt. And look at Terrence. Give me that. Now, let's go back. Hold on. Wait a minute now, because this is no easy feat on 97, which is Javon Hargraves with this double block on Tyler Smith and Connor McGovern. That's not easy. I mean, the way he just pushes Javon Hargrave. Excuse me, little fella. This is why I just think offensively from a run game standpoint, when you combine it with the creativity and you combine it with Steele and Tyler Smith and Zach Martin, I think you got something here. You just have to stick with it. This is when you do Hawk formation, Cowboys Nation. Any other time makes zero sense. That's why you dribble with a purpose. The run sets up the play action. The pass looks like the run. And our guy, Jake Ferguson, gets nasty with it. This is why you freaking run the goddamn Hawk down here. They are definitely selling out for the. He doesn't even care about the fullback. He bites. He's wide the hell open. Now watch this. Huh. Ooh, that was nasty. Jake is nasty, man. Look at it from this angle. This is why you run that play action. Send him this way. Send him this way. He has to hesitate. He don't know who got the rock. This ain't difficult stuff. It's not difficult stuff. Just don't do hawk formation on your own 25-yard line. That's all I'm asking. Hey. Couple more plays here, then we done. Actually, this is the last play of the game, and this is the one we talked about with the caller. It was pretty much your last chance, and I call it last chance miss op. It was slow to develop, not enough arm to deal with the pressure, and we'll let it play here. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He's going to get beat down here. First of all, let's run it back. Coming out, I feel like your attention should be here. Again, CD Lamb, 1-on-1. You should be licking your chops. You just got to make sure you get this safety off his spot. Or if you believe that he's not going to get there fast enough, you got to have that confidence coming out your break to throw it to him. Nonetheless, we get the play action. If you're even, I'm leaving. I feel like he's beat right here. He sees it, so he's gearing up to throw it. My man falls, so obviously he's wide open. But as we'll see here on the other angle, couldn't get it, interception. Now let's take a look at why he couldn't get it there. Reason why I say it's slow to develop is because it is play action, and certain quarterbacks that have certain arm strength, they don't need to put their entire body into the throw. They can just get it the hell out there because they can throw on off of awkward platforms. Not the case with Rush. Let's take a look at our guy Tyler Smith, though, man. That's a loss. Can't have it. Can't have it. But I still feel like, man, look. All right, he comes out of it. Clearly, he's looking off the safety. He sees it. It's football. I understand you got to put everything into it. He can't put everything into it. Gets hit. Ball game. Ball game. And the reason why I say not enough arm to deal with it, because I feel like if you throw off platform rate, and it's kind of not even really off platform, just flick it. Just throw it. He's wide open at that point. But he's got to gather my feet. I got to step up. I got to put everything into that thing, and I can't do it. Got hit. Interception. And that was it, man. So that is this week's Tale of the Tape. A lot of good things. Again, I say it every week. Things to build off of. You get QB1 back. Some of these things I don't want to see the Cowboys go away from just because you get him back. I want to see you actually build on top of it. I want to see you maybe add a little wrinkle to it. I truly don't believe you're going to have an offense like last year. You're going to have an explosive offense. It's going to have to be more methodical. It's going to have to be play action, taking your shots. You don't have wide receivers like Amari Cooper that are going to make themselves available on their own. Let's be real. If you really break down that and some of the other tape, these guys aren't getting open through their route running. They're getting open through schematics, which hat tip to Kellen Moore. But because you don't have that type of guy and because you don't have that explosiveness yet, at least, you're going to have to do some more scheming. And that goes back to more short and intermediate concepts I feel like we need to be creative on. So hope y'all enjoyed that. Maybe we'll break this down and drop it. But again, I come out of this game. I'm both offensively and defensively. I'm just not tripping. When you get to the X's and O's of things, you're trying to figure out who you are. I feel like if they're looking at this, they can build on top of that. But when it comes to the outside and you look at some of these stats, like you haven't scored more than 2 touchdowns, your third down percentage has been poor. You're not getting any explosive plays. Like, yeah, sure, that's an issue. But what I don't want to do, Cowboys Nation, is think that just because Dak is coming back, everything is going to be perfect. I still do think that Kellen needs to continue to build a little bit. And Dak is going to mask a lot of things because that's the type of quarterback he is. But just don't go back to throwing the ball 40 times. We ain't got that type of team to be doing that, man. We ain't got that type of team. I can't believe this caller stayed on hold this entire time. Give me a second, man. I got to take a drink. Got to take a drink. Whew. CFO said that's what's making Eagle. CFO, that's Tuck. Tuck said that's what's making Eagle fans mad. Look, I salute to y'all. Because y'all deal with them boys on Twitter and all that. And it's all love. But is that why they mad? Because we not mad? Hey, man, I came into this game. You can go look at the pregame show. There ain't a lot of pressure for this game, in my opinion. And you kind of made me look into the future. And I was like, yo, this game's important because I'm a Cowboy fan. I hate Philly. I would love to win this game and whatnot. But that other game might be the one. That might be the one. But, yeah, I mean, whatever, man. We got to play y'all again. We still 4-2. We'll see what's happening. 513. What it is, what it do?
Hello?
You are live. What's up?
Oh, wow. Man, look, I've been checking you out on YouTube for a minute, and I ain't know I was getting through. I just called to take a chance, and I've been on hold.
I appreciate you for holding through that whole entire breakdown, man. Salute to you.
But I want to give you credit, man. You good. I like your style. I'm a Cowboys fan since 1975.
Wow.
So I'm going to tell you something, though. Dude was right about Parsons. I know you don't want to hear this, but if you watch it, it got ran 20 when he was playing in the linebacker position. When Goddard caught the pass, Parsons didn't have that speed and stayed with him to knock it down. I ain't talking about the one he did knock down when he got up on Westcott's face.
So, again.
Yeah. I love Parsons. He's cold with
it. Wait. Let me. Oh, no. Give me a chance to counter that because again, you guys are seeing it differently, and I'll try to be nicer than because me and Jake the Great, we go back, we cool. If you go watch the play that you're talking about, I don't even know if that was Goddard. I think that might have been a different guy. Micah was lost in coverage, my friend. It was mental. It wasn't physical. It was mental. Unless you think Micah Parsons is a literal bullet, if a player is running full speed across your face and you are stationary or going the opposite direction, you're not going to chase down a guy right away. It's going to take you a little bit to get there. So I know exactly what play you're talking about, and that's why I think on Vacha's show I said the one thing I can critique Micah about in that game was his coverage ability, and his awareness wasn't there in that game. Now, he did have that nice little knockdown on Goddard, and Goddard cried about it. But that play you're talking about, watch Micah. He was lost in coverage from a mental standpoint. I don't care who you are, bro. Usain Bolt ain't chasing you down within 5 yards when he caught that ball. So I'll let you go.
All right, well, check this out, though. On that same play, though, when Michael played out on corner times, that's a real awareness. He was playing linebacker. He wasn't up on at the defensive end. He was playing linebacker. So he knowing when that tight end coming to him, he either got to go in or out. He's supposed to react to that tight end because, we run man-to-man mostly.
Right. That's why I said that was a mental hiccup, not a physical one.
Right, you're right on the mental that his awareness, because I'm seriously, even when he caught it, Micah didn't have that burst of speed to go to track him down. He kind of jogged it like, okay, well, they tackling, then he ran up on him. Man, Micah, any other game, he flying around with that 4.3 speed. He didn't have it. No. I know it takes a couple of weeks probably for the growing or a little longer. It depends on the person, though. He'll different. And with that massage and stuff they get, I know he can be all right, but I'm just saying, I'm with you. I don't want him to hurt himself no further because we do need him. We don't need him every play, but we need him every game.
I can't wait for next week.
I can't either, be honest.
I'm talking about for Micah, because as soon as Micah snap next week, I'm going to be looking for y'all. Should we rest Micah Parsons now? Is he on a flat tire?
Well, I ain't say no flat tire, but I know about going towards the hamstrings. I ain't gonna say no flat tire.
I hear you.
But look, my name is E-Way Senior, man, and I'm gonna call back. I'm from the Nasty Natty, Cincinnati.
Nasty Natty.
Yeah. So I just want to let you know I appreciate you. You do good work.
Thank you.
And I catch you with Rock too sometimes. I don't know what time y'all be on, but I catch y'all on YouTube.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you, good brother.
Y'all stay up, man. Keep doing great things for us, and show the younger black and brown generation that they can do this and accomplish the things that you doing and watching, Law and everybody else.
Man, we got a deep community, man. We got a real deep community. If you put your all into something, you could definitely do it, fam.
Yes, sir. But I'm gonna call back in, man. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
You have a great weekend.
You as well, bro. He said nasty natty. Yes, sir. Hold it down up there. That's where I think that's where Big Game James is at. Ohio area. Oh, got to get my guy Juan up in the building. Juan's a busy man. He calling when he can. I appreciate you, Juan. What up?
What's going on, Scott? How you doing, brother?
Is that the baby music in the background? You got the baby. You got to put it to sleep.
Can you hear that? Let me get into the other room.
No, you cool. I'm just messing with you. Listen, we're family man, so I understand.
Bro, I'm listening in. I do my usual. I join in a little late, listen in, drink my coffee, and I logged in and I heard the nonsense in the straight blasphemy about a flat tire. I mean, I know we call it the NASCAR package, but the guy started saying that Micah was playing with the flat tires. Like, Micah is all world. The fan base that we have in Cowboy Nation is sometimes delusional and ridiculous because we expect our best players to make great plays every single play.
Yeah.
But we forget the fact that they're going up against professional athletes themselves. Lane Johnson, who's one of the best right tackles in the league as well, and they have a great scheme on top of that. You know what I mean? It's just like they put their players in a position to win, and they came out with a great scheme. They executed. We didn't. We had 10 penalties. We had 3 turnovers. I just don't understand why we had a bad game. It happens, man. It's the NFL. Everyone's a professional.
Right.
I just don't like how they come out with the critique and saying, oh, Micah, like, okay, do we want to take him off the field then? Who do you guys want to see more of? Right? Because we can treat a lot of people in that game.
That's what my man was saying. He said he wants to rest him for a few games to heal up because he believes he has a flat tire. So, hey, that's what y'all want to do.
I mean, even that's kind of silly. Like, okay, you guys want to bench him? I know you just proposed that as a joke, but when people think like, oh, let's just bench him, like, you guys don't respect the Lions. You guys don't respect the Bears. At the end of the day, these players have pride. They're trying to win. They're not going into the game like, well, let's just mail it in today. We're playing the Cowboys.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are like the Lakers of the NFL. Everyone wants to beat them. Everyone. Everyone rises up because they're going to be on national TV most of the time. And I know it's a noon game, but man, like, we got to bring our expectations not down, but be just realistic. We're not going to go undefeated, no matter how great any team is. But great news, Dak is coming back. I do have one question, just to kind of stay on focus. What do you think the offense is going to look like when Dalton Schultz comes back? Because those 2 rooks, man, I'm telling you, they block just as good. And I like the package when it's 12 personnel when they're both in there. What do you think?
I think he's going to go back to being, tight end 1, but again, that doesn't mean that Jake Ferguson gets ignored. I think Jake Ferguson, a healthy, let's be real, it has to be a healthy Dalton Schultz. Healthy Dalton Schultz, Jake Ferguson, Peyton Hendershot, and Sean McEwen. I just really like that tight end room, man. That's a very solid and dependable tight end room. I think the important thing, though, is what happens to the tight ends with Dak back. Because if you go look at this game and the Giants game, the only reason those tight ends were targeted for real, was because they were deliberately game planned to be targeted. Everything outside of that, the Cincinnati game, the Washington game, the Rams game, he just completely ignored them. And there were opportunities in those games to get some big plays or get some chunk plays, and we didn't. Dak won't ignore them. Dak will go through his progressions and find them, contrary to popular belief people out there who assume that Cooper Rush reads the defense better. In reality, Cooper Rush is reading one thing in one side of the field, but that's neither here nor there. I just think you continue to use all of them, man. Especially when you don't have a bunch of like over the top playmakers and you got to be more of a matriculate down the field offense and hope for chunk plays from everybody. Use these boys, man. I would love to see when Dak gets back. Maybe you get a Peyton Hendershot up the seam. Maybe you get a Ferguson up the seam. How many times have you seen a seam route be hit in the last 5 games? I don't think we've seen one.
I don't think we've seen one. I think we attempted one in the Buccaneers twice, but they were incomplete.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, this game that happened, but it kind of just going to get us more motivated for that Christmas Eve game. And I want to see Dak, if possible, have them implement a more play action, have him be under center. I know it's going to be a little bit complicated with him going through that injury right now, but I think they open the playbook more when you add play action. And I know you've alluded to that many times before, but I just think when Dak goes into shotgun, I think he gets rushed into a decision, and he kind of starts not to panic, but he starts rushing through his reads. And I love Dak. I think he's a top 6, 7 quarterback. But I don't know. Kellen just has he has a great week or he has a very bad week. It's never in between. So I'm curious to see what the game plan is going to be for this week.
Yeah, you gotta mix it up. I mean, being under center helps this team a lot more. Now, you're going to be in shotgun. I don't want to act like you're never going to be in shotgun and you can't do good things out of shotgun. You can. You just got to be a little bit more creative, like they were in this game and like they were in the Giants game. If you're just going to be under shotgun, if you go back and look at the Cardinals game and you're just going to run the ball up the A gap, that's not creative. That's not going to work. And then from a passing game concept, if you're in shotgun and they're dropping 7 back, you just got to have the discipline really to just dump it the hell off. We don't want to throw into a sea of 7 with 3 wide receivers. This receiving core ain't last year. I don't care if Michael Gallup's back. Michael Gallup ain't that Michael Gallup, right? You really got, to me, one of them. Some people won't call CeeDee Lamb that guy, but you got one really ultra talented dude who is kind of still having mental lapses, if you want to call it, dropping the ball and maybe some maturity issues. So we got to treat this thing like we don't got one of them wide receiver cores, because you don't right now.
I agree. Start run first if possible. Obviously, it's a neutral game plan when the game starts, but
yeah.
I just running the ball when it's 3rd and short. I think that's a great option for us as opposed. I mean, with Cooper Rush, obviously, it's going to open up a little bit more with Dak, but when we shy away from that, when we start going to passing plays on 3rd and short, 2nd and short, I just don't understand. If we're being successful, just stay with it, keep it simple, and I'm curious to see what the game plan is. I do expect a big win, to be honest, and 34-9 is what I'm calling right now. But I'm gonna let you get to the rest of your show, brother.
Thanks, man.
Love what you're doing, man. I'm gonna see you on Sunday. I'm gonna be at the game, so I'll see you.
Yes,
Sunday.
sir. Appreciate you, bro.
Right,
yeah, I am too, man. I'm curious too. My man Tuck said Dak throwing 30+ times in that game. He might. It's a weird spot to be in. A good one to me. You couldn't ask for a better couple games before you get into I don't want to sleep on the Bears do have a pretty decent D, but you couldn't ask for a better couple games. Couldn't. Would have been nice to come off this win, but Detroit's going to do one or two things. They're just going to flat out stink defensively, or offensively, they're going to find something and they're going to make you have to be good offensively. Right now, Detroit also stunk the other week. I think it was against the Patriots or whoever it was, shutout or something crazy. So they have the ability to not be good as well. But I like the matchup. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Oh gosh, trap game. I used to believe in that stuff when I was a little bit younger, trap game stuff. Now, man, look across the league. Boy, if you ain't taking every game serious, hence week to week, boy, man, you're doing it wrong. Not as fans. We allowed to be like whatever Super Bowl. Y'all allowed to do that. But boy, if you're looking past any team, that's a mistake in my opinion. I love this matchup though, to get back. Pissed off defense, get QB1 back. The crowd should be, I don't care if it's Detroit. Who going to the game? I tell people this every time they come to Texas Live and they see me. I say, y'all going to the game? They be like, yeah, but like, do me one favor. Be loud. I shouldn't even have to ask you to do that. QB1 coming back. We coming off a loss. Y'all should be pissed. Yeah, we do got a pass happy OC. 931, what up?
What's going on, Seth? Long time listener. Whenever I hear you on Vox and whatnot. First time calling into your show.
Oh, man. Thank you, man.
So I appreciate what you're doing, big dog.
I'm good, man. Appreciate you calling in and appreciate you supporting.
Not a problem. Hey, so like I've been trying to figure this out for the life of me. I haven't been able to get an understanding for it. You got a guy that's running 4.2 speed, kind of small, but that he's a playmaker. Why aren't we using number 9 more?
Brother, and that's exactly who I was talking about earlier when I said you got a few explosive players, but we literally don't use them in that manner. And I'm talking about Tony Pollard and Kevontae Turpin. I don't know, man. I don't think Kellen Moore is who people think he is. And I'm not just saying his fans of this team, but like national media. If he was who you thought he was, Kevontae Turpin would at least be featured minimum 3 times a game. And he's not. So I don't know, brother. I don't have that answer for you. Maybe Turpin doesn't know the offense. I don't know, bro. It's ridiculous.
I've been thinking about it because, they ran jet sweep with CeeDee Lamb twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking in my head, all right, I like the fact that you're trying to get CD involved as best as possible. But what if you subbed that run with 88 with 9? I'm pretty sure that because he had 2 rushes for 13 yards. And I can guarantee you that they would have been a little bit more explosive if Turpin had been the one taking that jet sweep.
And if you look at his second carry, bro, I was screaming to Jesse, like, why didn't he just keep going outside? Why did he cut it back up? See, I just feel like Kevontae Turpin, that's what he does. You know, give him the jet sweeps and fake it, right? And then send him on a wheel route. Or I don't know, man. Maybe listen. I'm just an armchair quarterback. That's all I am. Maybe he doesn't know the offense. Maybe they're not confident in what's going on with him. But we in week 6 now. Dak's coming back. He got a better arm. Damn it, use him.
It's kind of I'm frustrated because I see a lot of stuff in there because there's a lot of time where you see 21 personnel and it's like, all right, cool, but it's like then you cut down on your routes because both of your tight ends are blocking. You only have 2 wide receivers on routes and you got your full or your halfback block and it's like, all right, you've got a limited quarterback as is. Do you need to dumb it down to that point to where he's literally only getting 2 reads, and even then, the coverage is just going to blanket everybody? I don't understand.
You're talking about when they run 12, yeah.
Yeah, 12 first of all. I said 21. But okay, so now with 4 coming back, are we gonna continue to just bubble wrap him this entire time? Because ever since he came back from the ankle injury, I feel like we've bubble wrapped him. There's been no RPOs because you remember when he before the injury there was a lot more RPOs, there was a lot more design quarterback draws, there was a lot more things that could open up the offense. That's what made the offense more explosive. And then he had to prove it with his arm just because Jerry wanted to show off his shiny new toy. So now do we start to have to say, all right, let's go back to what made us win 13 games. Let's go back to the things that allowed us to go downfield or matriculate the ball slowly if we needed to, have all sorts of options. Because right now it's either one or the other. We don't have both. We don't have that mixture of play calls.
Yeah, I said this at the top of the show. Actually at the top, the very first play in the film breakdown, there was 3rd and 2, the very first third down we had. It was an RPO look-like situation. In fact, it was a triple read option the way it looked, unless they just sold that really damn well. But they had the option to run it with the quarterback, hand it off to Zeke, or throw the bubble screen to CeeDee Lamb. And at the very end of that, I said, bring that back with Dak Prescott. And I started to talk about, you know what? Take the bubble wrap. If he's going to get hurt, if he's going to get dinged up every year, then let him just run again. I'm not saying he got to run 15 times a game. I ain't saying he got to be Lamar Jackson, but he could be Daniel Jones. He can run, give him 8 carries a game because that makes teams have to defend that. Now, he has to be smart. He has to slide. He can't, or go out of bounds. He can't be trying to run everybody over all the time. But I feel like you're taking away a part of what made him a special quarterback to deal with is because now I got to deal with Dak on this RPO or I got to deal with Dak running around. And if he's not going to do that, then you just make him a complete pocket quarterback. And has he improved in that instance? Sure he has, but your scheme hasn't and your players haven't. I don't care how good of a pocket quarterback you are. Ask Tom Brady, ask Aaron Rodgers. If you ain't got the scheme and you ain't got the players to get open like that, you can struggle. So get him on the move.
Yeah. Last thing that I had, because I'm seriously interested in how this is going to turn out because Cooper Rush relied on Noah Brown so heavily, and at some point, James Washington is coming back. So you're going to have CD, Washington, Noah Brown, and then who else? I think you may have
Gallup.
Schultz, like
Missing Gallup.
embedded. Yeah, Gallup. Okay. I was like, who am I missing? So you have two jump ball guys. Because you got Washington and Gallup as jump ball guys. So now, like, what are we doing? What are we going to end up doing with that? What do you think? Because, like, the way that I'm looking at it is, like, so I guess they're going to split playing time, split snaps with Washington and Noah Brown. But, I mean, he's been so embedded in the offense, I don't think that you can really do that, can you?
Well, surprisingly, Noah Brown has just kind of fizzled out of the offense from a reception standpoint over the last 3 weeks. He only has 5 receptions over the last 3 weeks. He had 5 receptions in every game the first 3 weeks. And the last 2 weeks, he only has 1 reception in each game and 15 total yards. So he's not really being used in the passing game over the last couple of weeks, more so as a blocker, though, more so in those packages that we saw where he's coming in, motioning inside, post-snap, blocking down on a tight or a defensive end or something. But I'm kind of conflicted, though. You bring up James Washington. Part of me believes they won't incorporate James Washington right away. I feel like that could take some time. And the reason why I'm conflicted is because I do think James Washington, healthy, gives you a little something different from a slot receiver situation. He's an aggressive guy downfield. He's played the slot a lot. He's familiar from a wide receiver standpoint, whereas Noah is just now getting in his wide receiver bag. But I just got this feeling they're not going to do it based off of, and this could be recency bias, but based off of how they use Noah Brown, I don't see them doing that with James Washington. I don't see him using him from a blocking standpoint. But somebody in the chat said, paraphrasing there, I'll be looking at wide receiver. I would too. I'll be reaching out. I'll be looking to go get somebody, man. I don't think Michael Gallup is going to give you the Michael Gallup of 2019 just yet. He might give you a play here or there, but it is clear. You want to talk about laboring. Shout out to my guy, Chick the Great. Michael Gallup is laboring, y'all. Michael Gallup is working his way back. So I would look at the wide receiver position, maybe bring somebody in here that could provide more of a threat.
Yeah, I mean, you know that there's one name that keeps on popping up in Cowboy land because there's another team that's kind of like in this rebuilding phase. I mean, I know.
DJ Moore.
You know what I'm? Mm-hmm. I know that's.
I'd love to get DJ Moore, but
like, you know that everybody is looking for it. They waiting for Jerry to say, we haven't spoke to anybody yet, but what happens? And then all of a sudden you see a name pop up in the trading block because everybody feels like this is Madden. You know,
hey, listen,
I don't.
That's the one position that historically speaking, Jerry has said, screw y'all. I'm making the trade. So I can't completely rule it out. But I feel like Steven got a little bit more of a stranglehold here. And unlike 2018, where you really didn't have an incumbent wide receiver one, you do now. So I feel like they feel like, nah, we got our guy in CD Lamb. We don't need to go out here and do that. So it feels unrealistic to me. The realistic one is Odell Beckham Jr. because you don't got to compete with nobody there. You ain't got to trade, right? You don't got to send anything. You just got to pay him a couple dollars. Hell, he might take Bitcoin at this point. That's what he got last year. So here goes some of this Bitcoin. Take this and come on here, learn the offense over the next few weeks. We'll get you back in December. And we saw Odell still got juice, man. So that's kind of the guy I was looking at.
I honestly don't feel like we need to go out and get anybody. I feel like we still have somebody, and he wears a 9 on his chest, but they refuse to use this man. But that's
hey, I'm with you there. I don't know why they won't, man.
So, but I definitely appreciate you letting me call in, my guy. Keep doing everything that you've been doing, bro. I've been respecting you and Vach for what y'all been doing because, like, y'all give the Cowboys fan base like a much broader perspective of how things are actually working, give them that knowledge that they need. And there's a lot of people that even you've got the Cowboy fans. How about them Cowboy fans? You got the Cowboy fans, and y'all are speaking to the Cowboy fans, and we appreciate that, my guy.
That's deep. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for the call. Great call, too.
Not a problem. Hey, and I'll be listening to you and Vosh later on as well. So
yes, sir.
Y'all have a good
3-ish Mafia. Yeah, man. I'm with some people in the chat saying they're not gonna do nothing. They content. I don't think they're gonna do anything. DJ Moore is just way too unrealistic for me because you have to give up probably a first round pick and some change. You literally just got rid of a guy and blamed it on money. He just got the same money. So do they swallow their pride and say, yo, we was lying to y'all. We just don't like him. He didn't get vaxxed or he wasn't available, even though he's playing whatever, man. Do they bite that bullet? I would love a DJ Moore. Don't think it's gonna happen. Odell can ask for the world. Odell's not getting the world. I don't care what he's asking for. He's not getting that kind of contract. Hey, Odell, you can get 5 years, $48 million in Bitcoin. He's not getting that. So I would entertain that, see what's up. I don't know who else. Some people said Tyler Lockett. That was kind of the earlier in the offseason. They're like, yo, trade for DK Metcalf. I was like, trade for Tyler Lockett. I think DK is a beast, but Tyler Lockett I just think would fit with Dak so well, man. And he's a deep threat. He's a precision route runner, great hands, good guy. I would love a Tyler Lockett, but we kind of speaking in are we in fantasy land? It's cool to live there from time to time, but we ain't. Are we going to do that? I don't have the confidence in that. If it does happen, something like that, man, I'll be jumping for joy, but I don't see it, man. Chase Claypool, Denzel Mims. I don't think Denzel Mims moves the needle. Chase Claypool is kind of a clone of what you got, I think, in the sense of I'm looking for a guy that can route you up a little bit. Chase, I don't, nothing against Chase, but Chase more of a possession guy. Got some explosiveness to him, but I'm looking for a route runner. Can you get open without me having to scheme you open all the time? Shit. Odell Beckham, 2 years, $35 million from who? $912. What it is, what it do?
What up, Sky? I just wanted to provide my insight.
Sure.
I played high school quarterback for 4 years. Now, granted, high school football is not college and college isn't the pros, but my favorite position in football is the quarterback position. And I just wanted to provide some insight. What's the difference between having Dak back versus Cooper Rush? Dak has a big arm, and he can and will go deep. How does it – now that changes a lot as far as how the defense plays us, because as we know, when quarterbacks go through the progression, common knowledge is to take what the defense gives you, right? But when the defense has to play back because you can and will go deep, what the defense gives you now is a catch after 7 yards versus a catch after 3 yards. It's trying a corner deep. And one thing corners hate doing is running full speed, stride for stride with the receiver, trying to keep up with the receiver and look back at the ball, which is why Slade was murdered by CeeDee Lamb when the Cowboys played the Eagles, because Dak will try Slade deep. He will try Bradbury deep. He will try any corner deep. Now, linebackers have to back up. Now, safeties have to back up because we all know safeties are taught keep everything in front of you. You can't play 10 yards off the ball and keep everything in front of you where number 4 is behind center. With Cooper Rush, it was, hey, they can play up a little farther. You know, he has so much more smaller lanes to throw to, and they don't back up. So taking what the defense gives you for rush is maybe a catch. Now you got to have yak yards to get to 7 versus when Dak playing, they can catch the ball, and it's 7 yards. And if they get any kind of yak yards, it's a first down, which is why the Cowboys scored so much more points with Dak as quarterback versus with Cooper Rush. It's about two things, spacing and respect.
Before you get to that point, because this is good stuff. My only thing that I'm hoping you hit on here in a second is when you're right, teams are definitely going to respect the passing game much more with him. Hence why you saw Tampa Bay literally throw out what they do in general. Tampa Bay is not a softer zone defense. That's not who they are. In week 1, we came out thinking they were going to do the same thing they did to us last year. They didn't. They reverted to the game plan and dropped a bunch of guys back. So what I think needs to happen when teams eventually do adapt and drop a lot of guys back, just rush 4, I think what we have to do sometimes is just take that or get creative underneath, right? Take the check down sometimes. Take the I hate to say tight end, but give your guys underneath some time or some ability to make a yak play, yards after the catch play, as opposed to what happened in week 1. We kept trying to throw into the teeth of the defense with only 2 or 3 guys in the route. So you're right. They're going to respect Dak a little bit more, but I want to see Kellen and Dak get more creative on the counter when they do drop back. But continue.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That goes into my point. Taking what the defense gives you is the difference between 3 yards of rush or 7 yards with Dak. Taking what the defense gives them, because the defense didn't give Rush anything. They didn't respect the fact of him going deep. That's the point. The NFL is a game of inches. Now we're talking about 4 yards of difference between what the defense gives Dak versus what they gave Cooper Rush. Now, if the game if the game boils down to inches and Dak is getting 4 more yards of what the defense gives him, then that goes a long way, which goes back to my point why the Cowboys were able to score so many more points with Dak than with Cooper Rush. It's about inches, and Dak gets 4 more yards of cushion than Rush did. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. No. I mean, I'm with you here. I definitely think they're going to adjust their depth of coverage, adjust how they cover in general. And there's times, I think somebody said it, might have been Bobby or somebody on Twitter, was like, the corners and the safeties against Cooper Rush, they just had an easy time. They were like, whatever. Like, you're nothing. This is nothing. I'm not afraid of anything you're about to do here.
No space, no respect.
No
exactly.
space, no respect. Yep.
And with Dak, they're going to have to back up. They're going to have to play back because Dak will throw a 60-yard bomb. If it's completed or not, it doesn't matter. It's in their mind, like, okay, this guy will throw deep. So we have to back up because he will throw deep. And corners, like I said, corners hate running full speed, stride for stride, trying to look at the ball and keep up with the receiver at the same time. It is very difficult to do, which is the reason why Lamb made Slay look so bad. It's very difficult to run full speed, stride for stride with the receiver and look back to defend the ball.
Are you talking about on the last interception?
Yes.
Yeah, that was Brad.
I feel like that's a touchdown with Lamb. I feel like Lamb embarrasses Slade with Dak.
But you keep
he's not reaching back to try to fight with the ball with Slade.
That was Bradbury. That's all I'm gonna tell you. It was Bradbury.
Bradbury.
Yeah.
Sorry,
but
he's not reaching back. He's not reaching back to fight with the ball. He's reaching out to grab it, and which is why he embarrassed Slade last season. Because Slade got caught looking in the backfield, and it's all it takes is a split second to look in the backfield, and he beats you over the top with Slade. Now they're like, okay, look, you better not let him get loose again. So they're going to play back. Go back and look at the game and look how far the corners are playing off the line when Dak is playing quarterback. And look how close up they are now with Cooper Rush. It's a 4 or 5 yard difference. When Dak is playing quarterback, those corners are playing 7, 8 yards off the line because if they don't, they're going to get beat over the top.
All right, in closing.
Rush wasn't beating anyone over the top.
Before we start going in circles, in closing.
We'll see it when Dak comes back.
Yeah.
Just pay attention to how far everyone's off the line. I don't want to hold the call up any more than that, but just pay attention to how far everybody plays back with Dak. Maybe not at first because they don't trust it, but once he goes deep, you'll notice that, okay, we got to play back now because now CeeDee Lamb is more lethal now because he can use his speed. Dak can use CeeDee Lamb's speed to beat us over the top.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's all I have.
All right, man.
How about them Cowboys?
Appreciate the call, good brother.
Yep.
Yeah, you're definitely going to see teams play differently, without a doubt. Without a doubt. My concern, not concern. What I want to see is how do we adapt, because that's always been the issue over the last few years. Is teams adapt to Dallas. Kellen doesn't quite adapt back. So I want to see how the Cowboys adapt back if they do, because you never know, man. You're playing so well on the ground, like you're running the ball so well. Do we see teams say, okay, Prove it. Some teams, not all teams. Prove it, right? Because, listen, Tony Pollard has shown this year, I'll take 160 yards to the crib. Now, we got to show a little bit more urgency to getting the rock. But again, it's still only week 6. Go out there and put 6 in the box. Sure. Do it. Zeke might not bust 60 yards, but Tony Pollard will. So go ahead. Drop back 7, 8 guys in. Go ahead. I'm curious. I can't wait. I can't wait. And we might not really know how teams want to handle this situation until week 13 or something, where you got like 4 or 5 games of Dak back with this offense, with this philosophy, not what we saw in week 1. Because we know Big Mike came out and said, no, sir. You will not go away from that run. So, how do teams play the Cowboys? It'll be fun. All right, that's going to do it for today. We already done hit crazy overtime, y'all. Good stuff today. Good calls. Ended on a good call. We had to film. I'll try to rip this and put it back up. Tomorrow we will be discussing moving on to Detroit. That's why I love the regular season. The schedule is very easy to get through. Put this loss behind us. We move on to Detroit. And I can't promise y'all anything. I kind of want to talk about the defense against Detroit's offense because that's what we've been doing. But boy, getting QB1 back got me excited. But now we'll do defense. We'll focus our shift over. We'll shift over to defense and talk about our matchup with Detroit, man. We will. On your way out, do me a favor, hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new here. If you're trying to figure out why can I not comment, it's because you haven't been a subscriber for 20 minutes. So hit that subscribe button for me. And then later on today, Mo will be back on the show or be back on the channel about 8 p.m. Central for A to Z Sports Primetime. Hit us up on A2ZSportsDallas.com for all things Cowboys. Y'all be safe out there in these streets. Let me hit this button. Y'all look at my pick. I can't see your pick. Who's that, JLV? Let me. Oh, this thing is moving. Hold up. I can't see the pick right now, man. There we go. Is that Kellen? You wild, bro. Appreciate y'all. We out here. Peace. Shout out to the mods, too. Appreciate y'all, man.
Squad!